Mount Everest, the highest mountain on Earth at 8,848 meters. It is a place of glory. Every person who reaches its peak feels like they have conquered the world. But it's also a place of death. Over 300 climbers have died here. Many have never been recovered, and their bodies remain frozen, preserved forever in the ice. Today, we tell you the stories of some of the most famous frozen bodies on Everest, reminders of the mountain's deadly cost. Welcome to this channel. And today, let's look at the top 5 most famous frozen bodies on Mount Everest. No. 5. Green Boots, the eternal Watchman. If you've heard about Mount Everest and its many dangers, chances are you've heard about this man, whoever he may be. He's a sad landmark for climbers, a grim milestone on the northeast ridge, a constant reminder of the mountain's unforgiving nature. At 8,500 meters, he sits eternally near a rocky cave. On his feet are a pair of bright neon green mountaineering boots. That's why everyone calls him Green Boots. It's believed that Green Boots is Suin Palger, an Indian climber who died in May 1996. He was attempting to scale Everest with a team when a fierce storm struck, killing 5 of them. Green Boots' body was spotted a few days later by a rescue helicopter, but the weather was too bad for a recovery mission. So Green Boots stayed put and waited. For almost 20 years, he sat there watching as thousands of climbers scaled the mountain. Some posed for pictures next to him. Others left messages on rocks nearby. A few even tried to move him. But after all those years, no one could bring him home. In 2014, Green Boots' remains were finally brought down the mountain, but the mystery around his identity remains. No one knows for sure if he really is Suin Palger or one of the other missing climbers from 1996. But that doesn't matter to those who climbed Everest that year. They know who Green Boots is, the friend they lost on the mountain, forever watching over them. Number 4. Francys Arsentiev, the Sleeping Beauty. Francys Arsentiev was a force of nature. This Russian-born American climber summited both Everest and K2, the 2 highest mountains on Earth, without supplemental oxygen. She was the first American woman to do so. But Arsentiev was not only a brilliant climber, she was also a trailblazer. In 1998, she became the first American woman to summit Everest without oxygen. She did it in her own unique style, carrying no supplemental tanks or bottled oxygen. But the descent proved much harder than the ascent. After reaching the top, Arsentiev got separated from her group and soon collapsed. She was found alive but barely able to move. Rescuers made a desperate dash to reach her, but by the time they got to her, she had died. Her body was left where she sat, frozen solid in the thin air. For nearly a decade, her body remained visible on the mountainside, earning her the nickname Sleeping Beauty. Eventually, her body was brought down the mountain, but the memory of her struggle still lives on in the death zone. No. 3. David Sharp, the man no one saved. In 2006, British climber David Sharp set out to conquer Everest alone without supplemental oxygen. He reached the summit without any problems, but on his way back down, he stopped in the same cave where Green Boots had spent his last years. No one knows why Sharp never left the cave. Perhaps he was exhausted, injured, or simply too weak to continue. Whatever the reason, he never left the cave, and he soon died. Over the next few days, more than 40 climbers passed by him, some just meters away, but none offered to help. Sharp's story shocked the world and raised questions about the ethics of climbing. Was it right for the other climbers to keep going while Sharp lay dying in the cave? Or was it their duty to try and save him? There's no easy answer. What do you think? To this day, Sharp's body remains in the cave where he died, a reminder of the harsh realities of the death zone. No. 2. Hannelore Schmatz. In 1979, West German mountaineer Hannelore Schmatz became the first woman to die on Mount Everest. She was part of a 9-member German expedition when she began to feel unwell. Exhausted and suffering from frostbite, she decided to rest 100 meters from the south summit, just 100 meters from safety, but she never stood up again. Over the next few days, the weather worsened and a massive blizzard swept across the mountain. When the storm finally passed, Schmatz's body was found still sitting upright on the mountainside. Her body remained on a mountain for years, visible to passing climbers. Some say her body stayed upright for as long as 7 years. Finally, in 1985, her remains were brought down the mountain. Schmatz's death was a blow to the mountaineering world. She had been a trailblazer, one of the first women to climb some of the world's toughest peaks. But her death also highlighted the dangers of Mount Everest. Even the most experienced climbers can be taken by surprise. Number 1, Rob Hall, loyalty in the death zone. Rob Hall was one of the best mountain guides ever. He knew Everest like the back of his hand and had summited the mountain several times. But Hall was more than just a great guide. He was also a great friend, a loyal companion. In 1996, Hall was leading a team of climbers up the mountain when they got caught in a massive storm. Hall knew that the only way to survive was to find shelter and wait for the storm to pass. But there was one problem. Hall's client, Doug Hansen, was too weak to make it to the shelter. So Hall made a decision. He stayed with Hansen, and they huddled together for warmth as the storm raged around them. But the cold was too much for Hall. He died just meters away from the safety of the shelter. Before he died, he made one last phone call to his wife, telling her how much he loved her and how proud he was to be spending his last moments on Earth with his best friend. Hall's death shocked the world. Here was a man who had dedicated his life to helping others reach the top of the world. And he died trying to save the life of his client. Hall's body remains on the mountain, along with the bodies of Green Boots, David Sharp, and the many other climbers who have died on Everest. Each of these bodies tells the story of the mountain's power and danger, but they also remind us of the courage and determination of those who dare to dream big. They're still up there, the most famous frozen bodies on Mount Everest. These frozen climbers are more than just names. They're chilling reminders of Everest's power and danger. Their bodies still rest on the mountain, monuments to ambition, tragedy, and respect. Do you know any other climbers whose bodies are still on Mount Everest? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about the dangers of climbing, check out our video on the deadliest climbs in the world. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.